skirmishers, you'll watch as they work together in pairs, in partners. So one man is loading while the other man is aiming and firing, and they alternate their shooting so that they can constantly maintain the ability to maintain a steady fire on the enemy. Now, as you look at the infantry, you notice that the standard infantry weapon is a 3-bander. It is a 58 caliber or a 69 caliber, depending on whether it's a rifled or smoothbore. And now you notice that the Federal infantry has taken the field. The Confederates are falling back because now you have formed infantry firing in volley. And there's an example of a volley. One of the questions that gets asked, if you watch the Confederates skirmishing, deploying and separating out, you watch the deployment of skirmishers, one of the questions we get asked is why did the soldiers stand shoulder to shoulder firing their weapons? Was that not a rather inane way of fighting a war? Well, the answer to that question is mathematics. Now, we don't have large numbers of infantry out here today, but try to imagine a 100-yard wide field. I have deployed skirmishers. My skirmishers are 5 paces apart. 100 men, a 100-yard field will be defended by approximately 35 men. They are firing 3 rounds a minute, which means I am sending 105 rounds against my enemy. My enemy has deployed in mass. He has deployed a line of infantry, shoulder to shoulder, across that same 100 yards. Man to man each man takes up 28 inches. That deployment will be 135 men. 135 men times 3. Wait, that's not correct. They're in 2 ranks. That's now 270 men times 3. Mathematics. It is massed firepower, and that is why they are standing shoulder to shoulder, firing volleys at the enemy. The infantry weapon, and of course we are on a field far smaller than what would be your typical Civil War battlefield. The infantry would engage usually anywhere from about 200 to 350 yards. The rifled musket has an effective range of about 350 to 400 yards. Now, when I say effective range, the average infantry soldier firing at 400 yards has a snowball's chance in hell of actually hitting an individual target. But by firing in massed volleys, firing an organized body against organized troops, you have the ability to affect the enemy's position and inflict casualties. So as the Confederate forces go forward, you can see the Federals are doing a withdraw by section. So one section fires and covers the retreat of the other, and then the other section falls back. Well, the next section supports their retreat. We do have procedures on the field to actually deal if there is a real injury. So what you're watching is acting. And not a bad job of it, actually. Rather convincing. And on the far side of the river, I think they bagged a spectator. But then... Okay. So the Confederates are driving on the Federals, trying to gain the upper hand by firepower, inflicting enough casualties to probably move forward with a bayonet charge. Now, as you watch the men load and fire the muskets, you'll notice they reach into their cartridge box, pull out a cartridge, tear the cartridge, pour the powder down the barrel, put the round into the barrel, pull out the ramrod, ram the round home. Of course, we don't actually load bullets during a reenactment. That would probably thin our ranks pretty quick. But what we do is we are showing you some of the tactics and some of the maneuvering. So it looks like the Confederate infantry is looking at two pieces of Federal artillery and has decided to back off a bit for fear of the impact of the artillery. Artillery is the smallest branch of the Army. It's actually in numbers very, very small compared to the infantry and even compared to the cavalry. And the reason that is, it's because it's also very effective. It's also the most effective. If you're holding a position or trying to take a position, artillery is going to do a lot of the killing.
Make sure your cartridge boxes are secured. Take out your cans. Move round from the bottom to the top.
Okay, you hear the commander advising and admonishing his men to make sure they have full cartridge boxes so that they can be ready for an advance.